Well, is that really all you have to do? It just looks like when I'm in somebody else's. It's kind of fun. There's up here, I can see a little, you're live with the time, and a little, here's your people, which of course is 0, and then the little thumbs up, which of course is 0. I wonder if it lets me give myself a thumbs up. No, it doesn't. It's too bad. That's fine. Just let me be narcissist about my thumbs. Ooh, there's a little spot for you to share your screen. So if you want to manage, what does manage do? Nothing, it looks like. Because there's nothing to manage because there's nobody here. There's another little thing that says you don't have access to this feature, so I don't know what it is. It's probably for cool people with lots of subscribers and people that want to watch them. Oh, look, here's a place I can type in the chat. Hello, it's me typing in my own chat. How? Oh, look, and my name is highlighted yellow. That's cool. That's neat. Huh. Well, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, you can see there's participants. Right now it's just me. You can see moderation activity. What does that mean? What happens when I click that? Moderation activity will be shown. Okay, I guess that just means if I remove something or kick somebody out, it'll show me timestamps. What do timestamps do? I don't know. Nothing changed. Probably, oh, there it is. It shows when I typed my message, so it would probably show when other people type their messages. But I can turn them off too. That's cool. And I can also pop out the chat. I want to edit. What does edit do? Edit. Oh, you can change the title. Right now my title is test. Customization. I have a live chat. Oh, I don't want to replay it. I don't want people to replay. Well, I don't know. I guess I'll leave it for now. Who's going to be here? Subscribers who can send messages. Oh, you have it set who can send messages. So you can select anyone. You can select subscribers or live commentary by approved user. Live reactions, message. Oh, this is where you can do the message delay. Where you can decide whether you want slow mode. I don't want slow mode. I don't want anything on slow mode ever. Oh, hey, I'll just hang out with myself here on the computer and talk very quietly. Although I won't be able to tell if I'm audible, like unless I replay it later. Maybe I'll read something. Yeah, I'll just read. This is one of my favorite books. I first found this book when I was in 7th grade. My teachers recommended it to me. The theater teacher, actually. I did a lot of theater in middle school. There's parts of it that I've forgotten. It's been a long time since I've read this. There's parts of it that are kind of written as if it were in a notebook. Mm-hmm. Maybe I shouldn't read that out loud because it's not my writing. No, I didn't write this. Oh, I dog-eared a page. The last time I read it, I'm not sure why. So apparently I dog-eared page 49. And I don't remember why I dog-eared page 49 because it's been years since I read it. So it's like I said, page 49 says, say you want another wrench, he said. I do not want another wrench. And I happen to be so spiritually advanced that I consider these tricks of yours mere party games, Shimoda, of a moderately evolved soul. Or maybe a beginning hypnotist. Hypnotist? Boy, are you ever getting one? But better hypnotist than Messiah. What a dull job. Why didn't I know it was going to be a dull job? You did, I said wisely. He just laughed. Did you ever consider, Dom, that it might not be so easy to quit after all? You might not just settle right down into the life of a normal human being? He didn't laugh at that. Right, of course, he said. He ran his fingers through his black hair. Staying in any one place too long, more than a day or two, and people knew I was something strange. Brush against my sleeve or feel of terminal cancer, and before the week's out, I'm back in the middle of a crowd again. This airplane keeps me moving, and nobody knows where I came from or where I'm going next, which suits me pretty well. That is Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah by Richard Bach, who also wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And one, I never read one. I read Jonathan Livingston Seagull though. So yeah, that's a book. I'm not only testing this, but I'm also awake and bored and pensive and lonely. And looking at my own face on a screen kind of helps me feel like a little less lonely. Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's okay. That can be weird. I'm entitled. I'm entitled to weird. So, what else do I want to do while I'm awake and bored and lonely? Until someone else I know goes live at 1 o'clock. This is one of my journals from 1999. The first part of it is a travel journal, and I started it in October of 1998, and I thought that was all I read. All I wrote was the 1998 stuff. But then later, like, there's a few blank pages in between, and then it skips, and I started writing in November 1999. So you can tell, like, earlier, the 1998 one, my handwriting is this kind of like sort of sloppy print. And then a year later, in fall of 1999 is when I had started cursive writing by then. I write in cursive. I still write in cursive, even now. And I guess that's when I switched to it. Hey, someone's here. This is weird. Can you hear me, Justin? Type if you can hear me. I didn't expect someone to show up. Maybe I'll type. I'll type something. Helpful. I'm good. How are you? Do I have sound? Okay, so now this live feature. Okay. The live thing kind of reminds you that, like, you really could be. Hey, it works. That's cool. I wonder if there's a delay on this. I always hear people saying that there's a delay on the live feed and like when the chat comes through. Well, Justin T, thanks for showing up. I've never gone live before on YouTube, so I'm just testing it out to see how it works. It's distorted, like the sound is distorted. Or the picture. Maybe it's because I'm using earbuds that aren't great. Maybe if I switch to the computer audio, maybe that will work better. Let's see. Here goes my Bluetooth. Is that any better? That probably is. Oh, it is? It's better? No, you're saying yes to it's distorted. Is that better or worse? Okay, cool. So my earbuds are worse. That's funny. I wouldn't have expected that. Well, that's cool. Good to know. Good to know. Well, how did you find my channel, Justin? Have I met you before? If I have, I'm sorry.
it's so funny to like be live talking and then like the chat is slower. That's kind of fun. Congratulations, you're my first person in a live chat ever on YouTube. You hold the distinction. We'll have to make a certificate or something. Yeah, Trinity's chat. I love her. Oh, and she has the best voice ever too. And the subject matter is really cool too. Like the subject matter is really interesting to me. It's really fascinating. But if I start it too late at night, I always fall asleep because her voice is so soothing, you know? Yeah. Yeah, she's awesome. I found her through the lifeboat. How did you find Trinity? I guess it's probably kind of different. It helps me fall asleep too. Yeah. I listen to probably more than watch a lot of ASMR content too. And I know that's not actually what she does technically, but she has that like really soothing voice too. So, I mean, there's usually, yeah. Oh, I love ASMR. So one of my favorites is, her channel name is Southern ASMR Sounds. Her name is Mary, and she has like this very sort of gentle Southern accent. Oh, yeah, her voice would be great for ASMR. You mean Trinity's? Yeah, it definitely would. ASMR or hypnosis too, or savasana, final rest at the end of a yoga class when everybody's just laying on the floor because they're tired from working out. I saw a funny shirt. It was a yoga t-shirt that said, I'm just here for the shavasana. Because it's like a nap at the end. Oh, she was supposed to stream at night but didn't? Oh, bummer. I can't remember what time she usually goes on. Because I saw her I saw her really briefly in the lifeboat in the chat in there. I think I said hi. I dragged somebody new there today. Well, I didn't drag him. I just said, hey, you should come. I hang out and I chat in here. You should come hang out and chat too. So that's kind of fun. Oh no, her dog passed away. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh no. The last I had seen, she was like taking him to the vet, or not him. I'm not sure. She was taking her dog to the vet or I didn't realize that her dog passed away. That's so awful. I'm so sorry for her. It's really, really hard to lose a pet. And in some ways it's even harder sometimes because people don't automatically recognize that it's a grief. It died of congested heart failure. Oh no. Poor puppy. I'll have to reach out to her. I'm so sad. But yeah, people who don't have pets or people who don't have dogs don't always recognize it as like a valid thing to have grief over. You just lost your cat you had for 17 years. Oh my gosh. See, that's a family member. Like, I mean, even if you only had your cat a year, they're a family member. Your cats are your kids. Yeah. Before I had my human child, I had my cat child. My parents even called him their grand cat. I'm so sorry, Justin. What was your cat's name? I just got a little. I don't know if you could hear that. There was a little sound on my monitor. Scooby. Oh, I love that name for a kitty cat. Oh. Yeah, the longest I ever had a pet, I think, was my family dog, was a Shetland sheepdog named Ace. And we had him from like when I was, yeah, he was a special cat. What made him special? What was he like? Like, different cats have different personalities for sure. Like, I had a cat named Shoe that used to like to crawl in shoeboxes. It was part of where his name came from. What did Scooby do that was different from other cats? What else did he do? Shu was also fascinated with water. Like he would reach out anytime there was running water. He would like sit on the edge of the bathtub, like if you were running the bath, and he would just paw at the water stream. Like he thought it was just the coolest thing ever. He looked like a Maine Coon, but he was, like, I don't know. He was my friend's cat, just had kittens, so we don't know. Probably not any particular breed or anything, but he was always following you and being nosy. He went through grocery store bags looking for the treats, huh? Oh, Scooby was a Maine Coon. Oh, was he like that kind of gray color? Like they're usually that sort of gray tabby color, I think Maine Coons usually are. And they get so big too. They get to be like, I don't know, tiny little bears or something. Oh, he slept with you all the time. Oh, he was orange? I don't know if I've ever seen an orange Maine Coon, but how big was he? How big did he get? I know that Maine Coons can get huge. 26 pounds. Dang. That's awesome. He was a big lumpo cat. My cat Shu, I thought he was huge and he was 15 pounds. I thought that was big for a cat. My cat didn't live as long as I would have hoped or as I would have liked. Oh, his brother Sammy's 31 pounds? That's only a little bit lighter than my 4-year-old child. That's crazy. That's awesome. Oh, so Sammy's still around though? Sammy's still with you? One of these days I'll figure out how to do this where I can like put a link in, and if people want, they can come on with me. This was they're from the same litter too. Yeah. That's how I got my cat. My friend, my really close friend's cat had kittens, and she had 4, and they named them Winkin', Blinkin', Nod, and Wooden Shoe. That's after like a poem. And Shu was the 4th one born. He was the runt of the litter, and that was the cat I adopted. And we used to actually like even after I took him home, we would like take him back over to visit his mother cat every now and then, and they would like play and like run around, and then he'd come back home with me. It was like, I don't know, an open cat adoption or something. He still got to visit his family of origin for a while. But he got, he had feline diabetes. He developed later on in life, like probably around when he was 9 or so. And come to find out, like we were just feeding him like regular dry food from the store, like Purina or something. Not like super cheap, but not like super fancy science diet or anything. And we found out that like cats of his kind that were neutered and had some other genetic things, like it was actually not great for them to have dry food. So for a while, I actually had to give him insulin shots, like little teeny tiny kitty cat insulin syringes. But he didn't. He passed away when he was 10 years old, which, yeah, you feed your cats some ungodly expensive food. What do you feed them? Do you feed them like science diet or something like that? I know the vet's always pushing that for our dog. And we got it at first, but he won't eat it. Like, he's not impressed. But that could be because we have a 4-year-old who likes to throw chicken nuggets on the floor and occasionally, and he likes to wait out and hope that he gets chicken nuggets before he will deign to eat the actual dog food that we give him. Science diet, yeah. They have so many different kinds of science diet. It's a little overwhelming actually, but I think I didn't know this until later, like after my cat had passed away. Your cats eat human food too? Yeah, they love to eat human food. I didn't find out until later that cats are what are called obligate carnivores, which means like, from what I understand anyway, it means like they're not like dogs, which can kind of get a little bit of their nutrition from meat and a little bit from other stuff too. But like cats are supposed to get like almost all their nutrition from meat. Like it's the way they're built, it's the way they're designed. And so like the food that has like too much grain or corn or filler stuff in it is not good for them. It's kind of like a human eating too many carbs or something like that. So, I mean, I learned that too late, unfortunately, that his food was probably too carby, had too much filler in it. Yeah, that's common. I mean, yeah, I guess he was a good cat, though. He was very sweet. Do you just have Sammy, or do you still have other kitty cats? I have one dog now. His name is Flash, and he is not amused with me right now. He thinks that everybody should be asleep. Everybody is asleep but me, but he's usually very patient. He sleeps outside the office door or like next to me on the floor, but he's not having it tonight. He was like, "No, Kristen, it's time to go to bed. What's wrong with you?" Oh, you gave me a thumbs up. Thanks. Oh, you have 3 others living indoors with you? Oh, cool. So indoors. So does that mean that you have others that hang around outside that are kind of like the unofficial cats that you get? Like they show up and you feed them. Hey, Janet. Hey. Yeah, I am just on a complete whim because I couldn't sleep. I decided, well, I'm going to click this and see how it works. So that's what I'm doing. So thanks for coming, Janet G. You have the distinction. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not always a night owl. Tonight I am though, because like I had a lot on my mind, and I don't know, like I could like scroll mindlessly through my phone for like an hour, or I could do something like this, and I figured, well, even if no one shows up, I can just like play with the settings and stuff and see how it works. I like learning new things. Keeps me from getting bored and cranky. So you're a night owl too, Justin? Yeah. Oh, I have 2 likes now. Thanks, Janet. This is so cool. What part of the continent do I live in? I mean, you're in Canada. I am in the United States. I am in North Texas. So in my part of the world right now, it is, how cold is it outside right now? I call it cold. It's 45 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Oh, you're in Louisiana, Justin? I have family in Louisiana, actually. My mother is originally from Louisiana, and my aunt and uncle and cousins still live there. They live in Houma, which is like right outside of New Orleans, I think. Janet, you're in Alberta, Western Canada. I've always wanted to see Canada. I've never been there before. Oh, you're a business owner, Justin? Oh, cool. That's awesome. What kind of business do you own? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, I'm just talking. I don't want to. Yeah. So Justin, I know Justin from Trinity's chat, and I know Janet from the Lifeboat. So this is cool. I get to see people from different places. Oh, you're a writer and an editor, Janet? Really? That's awesome. What kind of, do you have a particular genre that you write, or anything like that? I love to write, but I've never been published before. Oh, Justin, you and your dad own car dealerships together? Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah, there's a lot. Oh, that business is, somebody told me right now it's hard to find cars right now that like people are getting a lot of offers on their vehicles that they weren't, like people are like, here, sell us your car back or something because there's like a shortage of vehicles. I don't know if that's still true, if that's still happening. Janet, you're a professional technical writer, marketing, web content, etc. That's really cool. I knew somebody in college that like he was looking into, like that was his career path. Like he was going to be a technical writer. And I didn't even know like how you would do that, like what the path would be for that. Oh, you took off years to raise your twin daughters. Ooh, twins. That's wow. So I have felt busy enough with my own one singular child. I'm always very impressed with people who keep up with twins. That always kind of floors me. Justin, you've gotten too big. It's a lot to do for the car dealerships. Like you need more people that you can trust to manage different locations and stuff, probably, huh? Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things. Oh, you did your master's in professional writing? Oh, cool. I have a master's in counseling psychology, but I'm not a counselor at the moment. Right now I work for I work in a corporate. Justin, you lost your wife and child in 2018. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. That just, like my heart goes out to you. That sounds like the hardest thing ever. I'm so sorry. Thank you for sharing that though. Oh, it was a drunk driver, really? Wow. That's so much. I'm so sorry, Justin. You know, a really good friend of mine, she lost her husband that way. They'd only been married like, I think a couple of years. And like she had been through a lot of really bad stuff in her family, and like she found the perfect guy for her, and they were really, really happy together. And he rode his bike really long distances. Like he would ride his bike like, all the time. It was just normal. And one night it was like a country road. He just got hit by a drunk driver and on his bicycle. He was a big dude too. Like he was huge. Like he was really tall, really like big. But he didn't make it. And she has gone through quite the journey with getting through all the grief and all the anger, which is totally normal. The man that hit her husband, he's in jail, actually. It was not the first time that he had had like previous DUIs and things like that. I think he came up for parole recently, but he's going to end up doing the full time. There's so much pain around. I don't know. I'm glad you're here, Justin. I'm glad to know you. Yeah. I mean, finally breaking free of depression. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine I can't imagine. Personally, I've never gone through something like that before, so I don't know what it's like. But wow, like I think it would take me a long time to, do you have people that you like talk to? Do you have like, people that you connect with, like whether it's on here or, I know you said you and your dad own car dealerships together. Like, do you have other family that are close? Yeah. I'm glad you're here too, Justin. I'm glad I got to meet you. This cool, I wouldn't have expected to meet people this cool way via YouTube, like I still kind of remember when YouTube was new. You're in counseling, Justin. Do you like your counselor? That's important. It's funny, like therapists and counselors can get trained in all kinds of different really, really specific therapeutic modalities or ways of doing things. Like there's cognitive behavioral therapy, there's dialectical behavior therapy, there's and a million other things, actually. If you get bored, we could talk about it. But they've actually done studies, and while a lot of those are very, very good modalities, if you don't have a good relationship with your therapist, it doesn't help that much. Like if you don't like them and if you don't get along with them, if you don't click with them. Hi, Mary. I'm so glad to see you. This is cool. I didn't expect anyone to show up here. This was just a random like test I did on a whim. You guys, like I was just awake and I just couldn't sleep, and I was just thinking and just kind of scrolling on my computer, and I thought, how does this work? I'm just going to click it. I'm just going to see what happens. So Mary, you're my third person to come to my first live ever. I know if I messaged you, you would get my back, Mary. I know you would. I still have a hard time like defaulting to like, I'm still figuring it out. You loved the toothpaste story, Janet. It was bad. You watched it? I actually I took video of the toothpaste, like all on the mirror and all on the wall. You could smell the mint. It did smell minty fresh. That was the plus side. I had to laugh, like, so I didn't get stressed out, That was actually, yeah, it was fine to laugh about it. I was literally, like, I was in the shower for like 5 minutes when he comes tumbling in. Hi, Mommy! He's asleep now, by the way. He's like down the hall, so I can hear him if he gets cranky with me. He will let me know. He is an assertive young man. My 4-year-old is assertive. He'll actually be 5 in May, which kind of, that floors me. I am shocked by that. Where did all that time go? I literally feel like I just brought him home, I think that you could smell, sorry, I was just reading about, you could smell the mint. Well, originally I only intended to chat on here until like, I don't know, I'll just chat on here and hang out and just play with all the settings and stuff until like 1:00. And then I'll hop over into Chow Yun Smut's chat. And, but people are here. So I like saying hi to people. I might hang out a little bit longer. Janet, time flies so fast. Your twins are 25. Wow. Wow. One of these days, mine's going to be 25, and I'm not going to know what to do with myself. Or, I don't know. When you're in the middle of them being little, it's really easy to like get really like stressed out and overwhelmed because they need so much when they're so little. But it goes by fast. That's what everyone tells me. And Justin, you said, oh, you subbed to me after you saw me in Trinity Red Pill or Blue Pill. Cool. Yeah, I like her channel. It's so fascinating. It's really fascinating. It's really interesting. Yeah, thanks, Mary. I'm glad you caught me too. I was literally just testing this. I thought no one's going to show up. I'm just going to see how the buttons work and how the dials work and how not to break something. But cool. This is neat. Yeah, I found all kinds of channels and things and just content, and have met people that I think I never would have met otherwise. And it's just really cool. I don't know that, like, I'm glad I found myself here. I think probably the only reason I'm doing this is because I like met you guys through the lifeboat, and it had never even occurred to me before that I could click this button and do this. It never even occurred to me, ever. Janet, let's see. Oh, your daughter got a heartbreak. Oh, she was not accepted to grad school. I'm so sorry, Janet. That's really tough. Did she just apply to the one, or did she apply to different places? I think when I was applying, I applied to like Where did I apply? I think I applied to 3. I applied to 3. 2 of them said thanks, but no thanks. But one of them said yes. So, she'll try again next year. She only applied to 1. Yeah. What does she want to study, Janet? Do you know? Or, yeah, I guess you would know. Sorry. Yeah, I haven't broken anything yet, Mary. But the night is still young. I still have time. Don't underestimate me. I'm great at breaking stuff. I'm great at it. Justin, you're 44. I just turned, not just, I turned 37 in January. And it's the first time that the number of my age has really meant anything to me since I was like, after 21. After you turn 21, it's just kind of like, oh, I'm 20 something, I'm 20 something. 30 didn't really mean much to me. It was just like, oh, I'm 30 now. Okay, whatever. But for some reason, 37, like, I don't know, it sounded different to me. It hit me differently. I don't know why. You're 63. She's finishing her bachelor's in criminology and psychology. Oh, cool. She wants to do a master's in political science with a specialization in the history of genocide. That sounds really, really, really cool. And like not only interesting to study, but also important to have that context and that perspective. My little brother was a poli-sci major, actually. He was a poli-sci major, and then after that he went to law school. Just funny. A lot of lawyers end up doing poli-sci, but he's not in politics or anything like that. He does like the lawyer version of freelance, which is like he does what's called appearance work, where apparently sometimes a court just needs a lawyer to show up, and he gets paid a fee just to like show up. And a lot of the time he can just show up like via like Zoom or something like that. Mary, you keep celebrating your 29th birthday again and again. Your mom used to say that too, Justin. Yeah, my mom used to say that, but with 30, I think. And then all of her children got older than 30, and so it got funny. Oh, Janet, she's going to Poland in a month to work on a research project. Wow. They'll visit Krakow and Auschwitz. Yeah, it's a really hard trip, but really important. You're 29 again, too. What was I doing when I was 29? I'd been married for 2 years when I was 29. That's what I was doing. Did I live in my house? Yeah, I lived here. That was 2016. I was just starting the corporate job that I have now. But I was commuting every day back then. Like an hour there, an hour back, to go sit in a cubicle all day long. But I was so plugged into the computer all day long. What we did there, what I still do now, only a different part of it, is I work for a health insurance company. We review cases, like people, when an insurance company pays for something, somebody has to ask them to pay for it. And we get the things where they ask for it. And we can go, yeah, pay for that. Or we can go, hey, can you send us something else? It's a mess. It's I won't go into too much detail because I'll need to get off the live soon, but it's a mess. It's all a mess. It's working so far. You mean the live Mary is working so far? Yeah, yeah. I haven't broken anything yet. Your mom, Justin, your mom said it was her 29th birthday every year. Janet, your mom's 94. Wow. She says she still hasn't decided what she wants to be when she grows up. You know what? I love that. I love that. Like, you can always be whatever you want to be, Like, that's awesome. She's my hero. That's so cool. That's what I've heard referred to as beginner's mind. That's a principle in mindfulness, like where you always approach everything like it's brand new to you. You always approach life like it's brand new to you and there's still something more and exciting to do. I love that she still has that at 94. I hope I still have that at 94. You know, that's awesome. You're an amateur astronomer, Justin, when weather permits. That's so cool. How do you do amateur astronomy? How does that work? Like, do you have a telescope? Or do you do like mapping or anything like that? That sounds really cool. So far, it's working to celebrate your 29th birthday every year. Well, I'll keep an eye out when your next birthday is, Mary, so I can wish you a happy 29th. Janet, you can see the aurora borealis from your house. I'm so jealous. I've always wanted to see that in person. You own a private observatory? That's so cool. I'm jealous of that too. But like jealous in a nice way, you know, I'm not a jerk. You're going to stream it in June? I'll come watch. That's so cool. You know, in undergrad and college, when everybody had to take like physics or math, I detest math. Math and I are not friends. Physics and I are not friends. If I can apply it to something, I handle it a lot better. So my college offered astronomy in like as a physics course. Now you still have to do the math, but like I could sit with it better because they were applying it and talking about like how it works with the movement of planets and things like that. So because they gave it something concrete, I could still I could dial into it a little bit better. It still wasn't easy for me, but I could dial into it a little bit better. And I'm no fun at parties anymore because I'm not an astrology person. Because it was in astronomy that I learned that modern day astrology does not account for the precession of the Earth's axis. Justin probably knows what I'm talking about if you're an amateur astronomer. I mean, astrology is like, you're LOLing, so you probably know what I'm talking about. Yes. I found my people. If astrology is based on the idea that, there was this certain constellation visible in the sky when the sun rose. Well, the Earth moved over time as it spun. And so later on, they didn't account for that. They just kept it the same. They kept the same chart. So supposedly I'm an Aquarius, right? Supposedly on the day I was born, that constellation was visible in the sky when the sun rose, but it actually wasn't because they just left the chart the same. So, I mean, I know a lot of people like astrology, so I don't want to yuck anyone's yum about that. Like, if you like it and it's fun and it gives you some flavor to your life, I'm not gonna, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. But that's why I'm no fun at parties, you guys. Justin and I can hang out and be no fun at the party, I guess, about astrology. But that was like the first thing they talked about in that course. That was like the first thing because they get so annoyed when people confuse astronomy with astrology. They hate it. Janet asks, Kristen, what is the name of that guy who started the lifeboat with Tommy? He started his own channel on Sky Weather. Yeah, Mark Wages. Yeah, I bet Justin knows Mark. Mark Wages. We love Mark Wages. Justin, do you know his channel? Wages World. Yeah. I can't remember who I found first. No, I do. I found the lifeboat and Tommy first. And then I can't remember if it was then Trinity that I found next or Mark next. They may have been both around the same time. I think Trinity may have been the one I saw next. And then Mark was like around the same time. And then I was like going back and watching old Lifeboat episodes and watched Mark and then I went down a rabbit hole. All of the rabbit holes. So I haven't been able to watch as much of Mark lately because I stay up too late and I do things. Janet, you found Aaron, then Reese, then Tommy. Now you and Chow. Yeah, I found Aaron first. That is how I found the lifeboat. That is how they found Tommy. I found the what was it? I can't remember the first live of the lifeboat I saw. I think it was around the time, like, it wasn't when he first started doing the consulting with Aaron. It was like later. It was like when all of the drama happened with like the Aftermath Foundation and all that stuff. And Tommy interviewed him. And I was just like, whoa, this is a great interview. This is awesome. And now here I am, and hooked ever since. You're friends with Mark from Sky Tour Livestream. What's Sky Tour? I don't know what that is. But the lifeboat is important to you, Janet. You're coming up on 1,000 days sober. Wow, that's badass. You're a badass. Do you know that? That's so cool. That's 1,000 days. That's amazing. You know, I can't do math in my head, so I don't know how many years that is, but that's a long time. Heck, I'm excited. Like I'm like, I got goosebumps for you, Janet. You were a wine mom who took it too far. Yeah, there are a lot of wine moms out there. And like, it's really easy to take it too far. Having little kids is stressful and it can be isolating sometimes. Yeah, Mary, you said Aaron, then Tommy. You've made amazing friends. Me too. I made you as my friend, Mary, and I made you guys as friends. Janet, if that is badass, I'm also a black belt in Taekwondo. No, you really are? That's so cool. You're my hero. Well, y'all three are all my heroes because you showed up tonight. But that's awesome. I took Taekwondo for a little bit. And how old was I? I was like in 6th grade. Maybe like 12, 13, somewhere in there. My friend was doing it and I thought, that sounds fun. I'll try that. And I think I got up to like yellow belt. Like I didn't stick with it. Like I got bored with things fast. I like to try everything and then, okay, next. Let's see, you said Sky Tour. Justin, you said Sky Tour is a professional astronomer. He has a YouTube channel that you mod for. Oh, cool. And if you star observatories, oh, that's so cool. Oh, so Janet knits, Mary crochets. That's cool. Yeah, Mary has an awesome channel too. Blessed to Crochet is great. I like to go hang out with Mary. And I love the message that Mary has that, you know, put something in your toolbox that keeps you busy and keeps you coping well on really hard days. So I have some, like, I don't know if someone would diagnose me with addiction in my past, but I have addictive behaviors. Like I have compulsive behaviors and I've struggled with that kind of thing. And I've had mental health struggles. And actually a lot of people I love have struggled with like definitely like diagnosable addiction, like, you know, diagnosable, and they identify it that way too. So actually I got a friend of mine to come to the lifeboat today too. So, and he had struggled with some things in the past too. So it's a good thing to share with people who are struggling. I know it's helped me a lot, for sure. And it's helped me a lot meeting you guys. So, you know, I was thinking about observatories. So someone I used to date on and off for about 9 years. Like I met him when I was 17. We dated till I was like 26, but on and off. We were very break up, make up, break up, make up, like over and over again, forever. We were that couple. But his uncle was a professor of like physics and astronomy out at A&M, Texas A&M. And he lived kind of on the outskirts of town. And he, you know, where it was more so in the countryside. And he had like a little observatory. Like it looked like a little white like dome in the middle of a field. I went to visit with him once, but at the time that I went there, he wasn't, like, we couldn't go in it for whatever reason. I don't remember why exactly. It's been a long time. I haven't thought about that in years. But it was funny because, like, this uncle of my boyfriend at the time was, like, he was renowned for being, like, a tough guy who like hated everybody's girlfriends and like hated everybody that my boyfriend brought to visit them. And so I was just like, oh, okay, maybe he'll hate me. I don't know. We'll see. But he didn't. He was really nice to me. We got along fine. And later my boyfriend said, yeah, you were the only one he liked. I think maybe it was because you were kind of smarter than the other girls I brought over. I don't know. I don't mean to be a jerk to the other girls. I don't know them. And Mary says, deal with fibromyalgia. So crochet really helps, as well as being connected and having some great friends. Yeah, that's how to do it. Fibromyalgia is so complicated. You know, like I didn't know a whole lot about it, Mary, until, when was it? So I'm a Lady Gaga fan. Don't judge me, you guys. I love Lady Gaga. But she struggled with fibromyalgia. And it was a big part of, like, she did a documentary, kind of just like following her leading up to, you love Gaga too, Janet? Oh, my heart. I'm so happy. But she did this documentary called, I think it was called, it's been a long time now, 5'2", I think it was called. And it was about her like lead up in her preparation to performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. And they followed part of her journey where she's like struggling with really intense pain and trying to figure out why it's happening. And just even with like an ungodly amount of money at her disposal and all the resources that anyone could hope to have, like she still was like debilitated by it. So and most people don't have the kind of resources that Lady Gaga has at this point, right? They don't have access to people that can do like trigger point and like fancy cryo freezing pods or whatever. You watched the documentary too, Janet? Yeah, it was really good. I watched it. I watched it over and over again. I actually watched it when I came home from getting a spinal tap for the first time. It was, I don't know, it was comforting some way. Chronic pain is horrible. It is. Your husband has lived with pain his entire adult life. That's hard. I'm so sorry, Janet. It is really hard. I'm sorry you're an Elvis fan. That's okay. We love Elvis too, Mary. Was it chronic pain from an injury or something like that? I mean, I know it's very complicated. Elvis is epic. Elvis is, changed the whole world of music. Epic. Like, not everybody can say that. Very few people can say that. Ooh, chronic pain from cluster headaches. You know, I didn't know what cluster headaches were until I had some. Like, I used to get cluster headaches back probably a few years ago, I think. It's that, like, ice pick in your eye kind of thing. Am I identifying it correctly? And it just makes everything suck. Everything sucks while you have one of those. The cat Olympics, Justin. They're chasing each other. Well, it's the cat witching hour. This is the time of day for cat Olympics, right? I mean, if you don't do it at 1:30 in the morning, when are you going to do it? Mary said, hard thing is you go to bed in pain, you wake up in pain, you spend your day in pain, and you just have to get through it. It's exhausting. Yeah. So I also had one other friend that I knew who had fibromyalgia, but she also has other stuff too. She also has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which affects your joint connectivity, and it makes it really easy to get dislocations and stuff like that. She told me that, like, when you go to the doctor and they ask you, like, what's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, having fibromyalgia just totally, like, blows it out of the water. And, it's a different thing. I always thought that was a weird thing to ask too. Like, what's your pain on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, I could never quantify it. Like if I went to the doctor, like I only ever got that when I went to like urgent care or something. Like, like if you have a sore throat or something, that's the only place they ever asked me with a rating scale like that. They didn't even pull out the rating scale when I was in labor, which is, you know what? They probably didn't need it. They probably heard me. They didn't need the pain scale for labor. Your friend's daughter has EDS. I only just recently learned about it. Zumi's cats. I did not expect to talk with her this long, but you guys showed up and chatted with me, so this is really, really fun. Thank you, guys. Oh, Mary, my other's keeper and you are doing a show on Saturday on your channel talking about bipolar. And I do believe that Elvis suffered from that. Wow, I didn't know Elvis had bipolar disorder. That's really, yeah. I'll make sure to catch that. Yeah, I agree, Janet. This was a test. I think it's a good time to go over to Chow's. I did not expect to talk for almost an hour, you guys. It's 2:30 in the morning. Ooh, it's only 1:30 here. I'm up too late. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. That's what my mother used to say. If you stay up too late, you're going to turn into a pumpkin. Thanks for hanging out with me, you guys. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Janet. We'll have to do it again sometime. And this time I'll label it something besides test. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your night with me. Bye, guys.